welcome back to our podcast. It's Brian and Mr. Nate over there in North Carolina. We're
Yeah, buddy.
we're here to talk about everything, mind, body, and soul. We're here to talk about everything that we can and to grow, uh, helping as many people as we can to just build who we are. That's why we're here. So, Nate, what you got?
Well, we were just talking about exercise and physical fitness.
Yeah.
So why don't you tell everybody what we were talking about as far as weight training, for example, and what you get out of it? Because a lot of people, well, maybe a lot of people don't know that exercise has a lot of benefits for you, not just physically, but mentally as well. And I believe it also has spiritual benefits too.
Course, absolutely. Yeah. No, yeah, for sure. Um, so I've been into, physical fitness for I would say since I was a very young man. My dad had a very basic weight bench in the garage. He used to work out, and I would go in there and work out. And I was this kid, 7, 8 years old, like thinking, man, like I'm gonna do this stuff. Um, and I just like that just kind of lit me up from when I was young. And as I got older, when I was 17 years old, I, had my first my son. I had a child when I was young. I had my first son, and I remember like getting hired at Sears, and I had these two older guys that were really into physical fitness, and so they literally brought me in. They were like, hey, let's go work out. These guys are in their 30s. I was 17 years old, 18 years old, and they were like, hey, let's go work out at the gym. Let's go. Like, I'm going to help you be stronger, all this stuff. And they taught me like a whole, like mind, body, soul. Like, this is like what you should be doing at a very young age. And going into that, I teach people, I'm like, like people don't understand, like, just having that like physical fitness, being very fit, going into the gym. And it's not just like walking on a treadmill. It's not just like going for a walk. Like those things are amazing. Don't get me wrong. They're all beneficial. But like building like lean muscle into the body is one of the most important things you can do. Right. And so I always tell all my clients, like, I'm going to help you build a lean, tight body. It doesn't, yes, of course, the physical aspect is going to be there and it's wonderful, but it's just overall that it helps your whole like life. And
Oh
then when,
yeah.
huh?
I said, oh yeah, especially. Well, I'll get into my stuff in a minute, but you can finish. But
No. Yeah, no, I'm just saying, just, and you do that. And then you go from there. Like I said, like for me, it took me several years, obviously. But then when I got into like figuring out the fact that I had to put the mind, body, and soul together, so then I got into meditation and I got into going deeper into like putting my whole like life together. Because like I tell people, I was like, I was fit for years, but internally a train wreck. And that's what I
yeah,
always tell people. I'm like, I'm like, you could be the most fit, beautiful model in the world, but gosh damn, you could be like the biggest train wreck in the world. And like, so that's what I tell people, like, until you fucking heal like your mind, body, and soul, it doesn't matter, man. You know. Go ahead. What
yeah.
were you?
No, you just reminded me. Like for me, I come from. Everyone in my family is pretty much unhealthy, but uh, they have health issues like certain stuff because of obesity and stuff like that. I'm the only one in my immediate family that is not uh, fat, basically. So, I mean, but that's because from a young age, you know, for me, my motivation was I want to be strong, like Arnold Schwarzenegger or Sylvester Stallone, like those '80s movies, where they're like ripped, or like Rocky. Rocky was a big one. And then watching wrestling was like back in the day, that was
Yeah.
like my goal, you know. But
Yeah.
I guess that leads me to like when I get out of the military, a lot of people who get out of the military, they feel like they lose their sense of purpose or like what the hell am I doing? And then you get like I went into a pretty quite a long depressive state. So I gained a bunch of weight. Uh and everything with the VA and all that bullshit. But I was showing someone my license the other day because I got my license picture like 2 years ago, and I had a double chin and all this crazy shit, and I'm fat as shit. Because when I remember when we first met, I was like 190 pounds.
No, but you weren't when I met you.
Well, when I
You
got
may have
out, I gained weight.
had a little extra weight. You weren't bad though.
For me, for my own standards, I was. But
Yeah.
now, like, I feel like if you are if you're watching this and you're constantly on your phone and you're constantly fucking like playing a video game or watching TV and eating snacks, like get on YouTube. If you're on YouTube right now, fucking look up how to lose 20 pounds in 6 months or some shit, like look up a diet. Because that's another thing is like if you're physically healthy, it's going to be so much easier for the rest of your health to fall into place because you're
Well,
going to feel good about yourself and you're going to have more positive energy.
and then I'm just sorry, Nate. I'm trying to cut you off. Um, just obviously that's what I do for like a lot of my living is help people become better, mind, body, and soul, right? And so like even better than like what you were saying is like having these diets. Like, dude, I'm telling you, like I've never been a fan of any kind of like fad diet, none of that shit. I will teach you how to build a life that's very natural, that is sustainable for the rest of your life. I will help you build a body who is your heart, your lungs, everything is like really healthy. Plus, you have sustainable muscle on your body. And I do that because I've done that for years. Like I've done that for years. I did it with myself. I've taught people when I was a paramedic, even though I wasn't doing it like as a living or whatever you want to tell me. But like I had friends, family, whoever would be like, "Hey, teach me how to be fit." Um, God gave me those, I guess, like God gave me those like things to be able to use, those tools to be able to use to help other people. And so like I've been doing that for a long time. And I have people that come to me that, like I said, like could be the most like unhealthy according to the world, and heavy and whatever. And like people see them and they're like, oh my God, like what happened with him? It's like, no shit. Cause I just teach them how to change their mindset and how to change their body and how to change their whole life. And then it just grows. And like I said, and I never, and that's the one thing that I always want to tell people is I never teach extremism. Like you'll never see me tell you, like, you can't have anything you want. You can't do any of this shit. Cause I'm like, it's horseshit. Like literally, like if you can't enjoy some of your life, you will always fall back into that pattern
Yeah.
because you're right. And so I tell people, like, so until you can become emotionally and mentally like strong enough to be able to be like, hey, like I'm changing my life, but I'm still gonna fuck off once in a while and like have these drinks and do whatever. It's like, but a lot of people think that you have to just be like 100% perfect. Like, dude, I always tell people, if you want to go to the Bible, go to the Bible. Jesus was like, dude, I don't want to hang out with perfect people. Like that's a waste of time, you know. But we have these humans that think that, well, no, I got to be this perfect person and I can't do anything. And well, then you're going to have a horrible fucking experience in this lifetime. And then guess what? We reincarnate. So you're going to come back. I hope you don't go through the same the same ignorant, boring life again.
Well,
Cause,
yeah. If you don't learn, you will.
cause I'm like, God damn, I just want to fucking have fun and then learn and grow and be like, hey, let's do it again. What are we going to do today? Like, let's have some fun. Like, I'm gonna come meet Nate, and Nate's gonna be a fucking dog that I really enjoy. A bulldog or some shit. Who knows? Who
Hey, Brian, I gotta take a crap. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think that especially in society now, like when I was in the military, like, dude, fucking they only like most soldiers, they wouldn't even teach them about nutrition. There's just like, here, this is what you're eating. There's no why behind it in training. And then when you get to a unit, unless you have someone who's like educated in it, you're not going to learn it unless you do it yourself. So like I was fortunate enough because in the unit I was in, we had a nutritionist and we actually sat in a class and they actually like they gave a presentation about it because at that point for the nature of where we were, it's like you have to basically almost be an athlete to a certain extent
Yeah.
or but like there was no formal training on any of that stuff, which I think they should do. Now the military or the army has like holistic fitness
Yeah.
apparently,
I've heard
which
that. Yeah.
which I don't know like what they're doing specifically, but um that's something that everybody can do on their own, like military or not. Like you can sit on your phone and go on YouTube and look up, oh, what's an exercise that's going to make my upper body strength better, or what's an exercise that, what's a total body workout in 15 minutes or something, So like,
Or like
there's no, what's that?
breath, breath work. Like I said, I don't think that you and I haven't had too many talks on breath work, but I did a breath work session yesterday online, and I did it, and it was probably close to an hour of just deep breath work, and dude, amazing, amazing unlocks. Like it's so crazy because like your body will feel, which I tell people, like you feel these carpal tunnel spasms where it's like your hands and your feet and everything like starts to kind of lock up because like you're having like you have an excess of like you're getting rid of CO2, so you're just like, oh shit, your body's like, oh my god. But but it
Oh,
was
is it
amazing.
just like deep breathing and then blowing out until you can't blow out anymore?
But it's like it's not like a forceful block. So like as I was doing it, it was like, so I've taught people this, and I did it yesterday purposely because I hadn't done it in a while, and so it's most people like they do in through the nose, out through the mouth, or you can have both. I was just in mouth, out mouth. So but like my blowout was not like a forceful blowout. It was like a let go. Like it was
Yeah.
like a into my stomach and then let it go and it just fall out. Um, and I did that, and it was amazing, dude. Like literally amazing. Um, I had so much like clarity in my mind, and it was actually like altered my mind. Like when I was done, I was like, "Holy shit!" Like it was over, and then my mind was like altered. But I was like, I could tell it was like in such a deep state, and I was just like, "Oh shit!" And I sat up, and I sat on my couch, and I prayed, and I meditated more, and I got deeper. And I just connected to source and was like, "Hey God, like, hey, this is the deal." Um, but this is the thing though, is like those things are healing. That's natural healing, right? So I I want to offer that to, because like I think about like you being, well, obviously you and I have talked about this shit many times. Um, you being a veteran and me fucking being a um just all
First
my
responder.
first responder and all my shit, that's just like fucking all the shit that I saw. Dude, like I literally like had that meeting earlier and I was talking to that lady and she was just like, she was like, well, how long did you do that? And I was like, 14 years. And she was like, so you saw like heavy things? Like, I said, yeah. I go, I saw things that were not a big deal. I said, then I saw things that were fucking like beyond a movie. I go, and then people like think that it's like, oh, you guys are. And she said, she goes, no, she goes, and it's funny. This like the lady that ran this business. She goes, I 100% respect you guys. And I was like, well, I don't look for respect. I go, it's a simple fact that like people don't get what we deal with,
Yeah.
And I always tell people about you because you and I have had this conversation many times. So you and I recently, especially, I've had this conversation. I don't know why, but it's just come up a lot. And I was like, my buddy, I go, he's an 11-year veteran. I go, he's seen a lot of shit. I go, but he also understands like the rest of us that fucking like do this shit on a fucking weekly basis. And
Yeah.
people think that we're just like, oh yeah, yeah. we're fucking watching the Smurfs. No, bitch. Like we're seeing people fucking shot in the head like every day. Like, crazy shit. Like, and people don't get it, dude. Like it's just amazing. Like, and I don't want people. I don't need people to feel for me or
You're not looking
um
for pity.
yeah, no, not at all. Not at all. Not in the slightest. I just wish that like more people were like aware of like the fact that it's funny because like I said, the lady I met with today, she was just like she understood it. She was like, man, she goes, no, I have nothing but complete respect for first responders. And I was like, yeah, but a lot of people don't. They think that we're just like, I guess they think we're playing a game. I don't know what the fuck they think. I mean, we're all playing a game, but I guess they just don't understand what we're doing. I don't know. It's weird.
Well, I mean, that's why I made that post in our Instagram. Because, like, for
Mhm.
me, I was extremely lucky than my time in the military. But that's where my mindset comes from. So actually, I was telling someone the other day, my mindset of like that warrior mentality doesn't just come from the military. I had it before. So, like, I studied ancient history, like the Spartans, samurai, Vikings, fucking. When I was young, 300 came out in like 2006, 2007. That movie, I had already known from watching the History Channel and reading books about the Spartans and the Battle of Thermopylae. And like, that's what I based my mindset off of when I was going to look into the military. So, like, but a part of that too is like, that's why we're called Warriors of Light, is because now I'm older. Of course, I'm not going to be fucking like Spartan kicking people in the wells and like, dumb shit. But our job is to educate people on health. I think it's important for us with our backgrounds, like especially with yours too, is like health is a lot more than just physical.
Oh, dude, thank you
Like
for
you can work if you're working 40 hours a week or more, like you need a break because that's unhealthy too. That's a different kind of stress because stress is the fastest killer in the world,
that.
you know?
But that's American killer, right? I tell people the only reason we have the depths of the disease that we have is because Americans believe that we're supposed to always be moving, right? So, and I think that maybe you and I have shared this, maybe not, but do you understand that we are supposed to be human beings, not human doings?
Yeah.
And I tell people, like, literally slow down enough to hear that. Human being, not a human doing, right? So we think that go, do, be, this, that, all this shit. But you can be a human being and just slow down, just stop, and just stop moving. And then, like, your light, your love, who you are, can transcend everything in this life. But we were taught to be constantly moving, right? It's so
Yeah.
crazy. It's so crazy because the lady I met with today, I told you, for me to go do that position, she goes, yeah, she goes, it's kind of crazy. She goes, I think Americans don't have like any clue like what we're supposed to be doing. She goes, I think Europeans do. I said, dude, Europeans understand. They're like, hey, like, let's have like 3 4 day weeks. Like, that's it. We're done. Let's have some free time. Let's do all this shit. Right. Americans, we're just like fucking like, go, go. But then everybody's fucking miserable. Right.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, that's what I've noticed is like most people that I interact with are just working themselves to death. Like,
Death.
what do
Yeah.
you do? What do you do? Oh, I
Oh, shit.
fucking work, you know? Like that's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And that's why, like you said, that on top of the shitty food that is shoved on our store shelves,
Yep.
like just
Yep.
makes everything worse. It's basically like we talked about before, one big machine. And what do? We're working and we're fucking taxed on every fucking thing that we buy, everything that we own, right?
Hmm.
So we're basically just working, and like for example, when you have to do your taxes every year, we're just all on someone else's schedule all the time. That's what we're doing
So I
as
have a
a
question.
society.
So I have a question for you, and
Yeah.
I just, and this is a sincere question because I want to see what your thoughts are. Because, like I said, I'm not, I don't live life like I told you this, and you and I, we're a little different in certain situations, but of course, because our souls are, but um, so when it comes to all the bullshit going on, like I guess you can say politically, which I'm not political, but um, in these situations, but I'm just saying like share who we are, like because I can share who I am, and I don't give a fuck. Like it's not about a political side; it's like who I am. Um, what are your thoughts of what's going on right now?
You mean overall,
Yeah, like as a whole. Like I
like
mean,
with the United States or the world?
well, both, but primarily, I guess here, primarily, because this is where we fucking live. But still,
Well, I guess if we're gonna get into that realm of kind of like politics, I guess, because I mean, to be honest, politicians are the ones who fuck everything up. So, I think that there's a lot of people that are pulling strings within and outside of our own government that
of course,
is fucking pushing propaganda left and right so that certain things like like we talked about this before, the mainstream media will fucking put out stories so that we're distracted, so that the real shit that's happening is fucking under the rug.
well, yeah, it's hidden so that fucking people are focused on the bullshit, right? I mean,
It's just like the Epstein list, bro. What are they
well,
doing? What are they doing right, dude? They're still trying to fuck up Trump.
but listen though, like even that, what does it matter? That motherfucker died. He's done. It doesn't matter. I don't give a fuck. I'm not saying that shit's not wrong. What I'm saying is how are you
No,
going to change his list? Are you
well,
going to
no.
change his?
What I'm saying is that the list hasn't been released, and as a distraction, all you hear about in the news is Russia, Trump, and all this other shit.
But that's what I'm saying though. Like all these things, like even his list. Like tell me that they aren't trying to fucking like pull other shit into our life. Of course, dude. I mean, we know that. You know.
Well, what I mean is that there has to be like I think the majority of people think that there's I think most people would agree that there's a level of justice that has to be served overall.
No, and
You
I
know?
agree. I agree with that. I agree with that. But I'm just saying is that
You
fucking
mean
like
you're saying that it's all a distraction?
no, all of it. I just
Yeah.
think it's fucking like from the bigger shit that's going. So listen. I get what you're saying, right? Like fucking like there has to be justice, right? Cool. Like I agree with you. But there's all this other bigger shit going on from all these countries and all this shit and all of our fucking cooperation with all of them. And that's what I'm trying to tell you is that fucking like they use these things to keep us like, dude, think about the shows they use, the fucking stories they use, and everybody like all Americans are like, did you see that guy that didn't get the fucking award? And I'm like, what is that, Matt? What you have 15 million people watching this stupid ass award, but yet
You could say the
these
same thing about the Super Bowl.
no, that's what I'm saying. No, 100%. I agree with you. This is the thing. I'll tell you this, Nate. I'll tell you this. I'm a Niner fan. I'm a football fan because I played football my whole life, and I love the Niners. But guess what? People will tell you that people that know me that when I was fucking like a hardcore like football player, I played all the way. I played football all the way into San Jose State. And people will tell you that fucking when they knew me, like fucking like I was always like, you know, they see me now and I'm like, I don't care. Like, what? What do you mean I care? I'm like, yeah, it's the game. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, it's whatever. Because there's bigger things going on, you know? But what I'm saying is think about that kind of game. Hey, so Nate, look at that. Look at that situation, bro. No, seriously. So you had them playing the game. Then you had Taylor Swift, right? And
Oh
she's
yeah.
oh, dude, and she's running the show. And I'm like, and my question is, I'm like,
Yo, you know
okay,
what? That's kind of the energy I got from it because I did watch it.
it's weird as fuck
And I
because
did
I'm,
get the energy of like she has some type of manipulation in this game.
oh,
Something.
dude, oh, 100%,
Like
100%.
especially that meme. You seen the meme where the dude is yelling at his coach? Like, what the fuck world are you in, bro?
No, he did that. I was like, when he did it, and they showed it back, and I was like, and we were watching the game, and I was like, if I were fucking Andy Reid, I would have sat that motherfucker on the bench and been like, "You're done for the game, bitch." Like,
But see,
fuck
that's the thing. That's the problem with these
you.
sports now is it's all political.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because there's a quote, like we talked about how we're modern day Rome. They give us the circus so that we're distracted, and sports is one of the circus was a part
Yep.
of the circus. You know,
Yep. Yep.
that's why I fucking like. I'm getting my son into hockey, but I'm teaching him how to play it, not to watch it.
But
Which I think
you know what's
hockey's one of the rare sports where it's not usually like that. But
you know
you
what's
know,
crazy is yesterday we were hanging out and my son and I were hanging out and then like I was hanging out with my mom and I always tell people I don't know you may have you'll probably have well, I don't know people have different outlooks on these things. Tupac fucking had like a lot of like good fucking like music and like he was like really like fucking poetical
oh
like
yeah, there's a lot of conspiracies behind that.
huh.
There's a lot of conspiracies behind what
No,
happened
because
to him.
fucking he had a lot of good poetics. Like he was like really good. And it's just fucking like and then he got killed because fucking once he said that he was done fucking trying to be like the rest of these people, that he was done, right? And so fucking so he was done. Um and so it's kind of crazy because like fucking like I showed my mom this one song that really like it's Dear Mama and like it had this whole thing like because of me and like how I was when I was young and all this shit. And it really broke her down in a good way. But I'm like, so you have to think like there's these people that fucking like there's these situations that like are always like good, like they're meant there for good. But dude, we're so fucking like try to be blinded.
That's the thing is it's easy. That's the whole purpose of how our society is set up is to just have us so fucking busy with blinders on,
Mhm.
with work every day. Oh, I gotta pay the electric bill. Oh, my fucking kid has
Another
a sports game
shit.
3 days in a row or some shit. Fucking uh what are we gonna cook for dinner tonight?
Yeah.
Or oh,
Yes.
I'm out of this from the grocery store. Like everything that we do, they want, and I say they want us dependent on the system so that we don't ever fucking question anything.
No shit. Yep.
Which is why physical health and mental health and spiritual health
It's so important.
are important. Yeah. Because if you're like, I'm guilty of it too. Like, we put ourselves in this box. It's like, oh, I got to go to work. All right. And then that's my priority because otherwise I can't pay bills. And if I can't pay bills, then we're all going to fail and die. Right. That's pretty much
But
the gist.
that's why I kept trying to tell you because listen, think about that. Think about how you like the human mind says that if you don't go to work for these days, you don't do whatever, your family's not going to eat and you're going to die. And I'm like, and I'm like, okay, wait a minute. I have a question. I'm like, I have a fucking question. Like, where the fuck did you grow up? In Uganda? In Uganda, fucking like, Africa? Like fucking where there's nothing out there. What the fuck are you doing?
Bro, they're living better than us. The fuck?
I'm just saying, like fucking, like come on, dude. Like we grew up like we're okay and we're doing good and we're not like perfect, doesn't matter, but we're still doing okay. But as I'm saying, it's like, then all of a sudden we're fucking giving up our freedoms because of what the United States told us, right?
Well, it's not even, I don't think it's what technically, it's specific people within the United States. I don't
Oh
think
no,
it's, you know,
no, I agree. Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah.
because the United States is still, I believe, it still has the potential to be land of the free, home of the brave. But the problem is that people who are fucking born here are being educated to not think that way.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like when I went to school, we said the fucking Pledge of Allegiance, which you could say is programming, but like what does every other country do? Like
I'm not. So when I say it's programming, I'm not saying that it's like, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. What I'm saying is that anything we experience is programming, right? So
oh
what
yeah,
I
even like right now, what we're talking about, you and I.
yeah. So what I'm saying is like, but that's the thing though, Nate. Like you and I are sharing, I would say truth, like absolute truth. But unless people like choose to continuously like replay this in their head, then they're living off of some old programming,
Well,
right?
dude, that's the same thing with Christianity, where we were talking about earlier. Like when you were talking about Jesus, and then what's that thing I shared? Let me see. Let me share the quote. Even though this is probably gonna piss people off, I don't give a shit. Fuck 'em. Where is it? Oh, I lost it. But it's basically like the problem with Christianity is it doesn't follow anything Jesus actually wanted you to do.
Oh no shit.
That's what the quote was. I forgot who said it, but
That,
like we
that's
were
what
talking about that before we started recording.
that's what I told you. Is I said my big thing is um so if you go into the Bible, I'm in like Luke 14 right now, and I'm like, listen, and they say that, oh well, Jesus, you're an idiot. Why would you hang out with these like hookers and these you know negative people? And he's like, well, why would I fucking? He goes, why would a healthy person need a doctor, right? Like, why would I, And so Jesus always said, like, I'm gonna hang out with the people that need to fucking hang out. And so, and my thing is this is my thing is I grew up around these like pastors and stuff, but I'm like, okay, I have a question.
Oh,
So,
we don't like that.
well, yeah, I don't care. My thing is, I have a question. So Jesus said he hung out with all these people that were like questioning like life, basically. But then you guys are like prominent, renowned, whatever, I guess, pastors or whatever, right? And you guys won't hang out with anybody that's like that. So to me, when I read the Bible, because I read the Bible every day, I'm like, you're the Pharisees that are like, hey, you know, I don't want these fucking people. Like, what the fuck? Why would I hang out with them?
Well, I think the problem is that, you know, actually, but you remember how I told you I was looking into the like, have you ever seen the show Vikings?
Yeah, I've seen. Well, yeah, I've
Yeah.
seen. Yeah, I haven't
So
watched like the whole series, but I've seen parts of it. Yeah.
yeah, so I stopped watching it after Ragnar died, but anyway, um, but I just saw a clip like yesterday, and I'm like, for some reason, I'm being drawn to it. I don't know because I've been waking up at 3 a.m. again, like almost every fucking day.
Yeah, me
But
too.
that's what I do is I'll go on YouTube and then shit like that will pop up without me even searching it. And I'm like, okay. So I watched this clip, and basically in the show, for those of you who've watched it, you know, but for those of you who haven't watched Vikings, Ragnar Lothbrok is a Viking, right? For lack of a better term, because they didn't call themselves Vikings. Anyway, um, fucking, he befriends this Christian man, right?
Mhm.
And the Christian man ends up becoming kind of like his slave, but then ends up becoming his friend, and then like they become almost like brothers, kind of. It's weird, like the way it's portrayed, kind of. It's not weird, but his Christian friend ends up dying because he's killed by somebody, and the clip. So this leads me to the clip. The clip is Ragnar. He's worshiping the Viking gods like Odin and all that shit, right? And there's a clip. The clip I saw is him going up to, I forgot, they're doing some negotiations with some um the French or the English, whatever. And he's like, Ragnar goes to them and he's like, I want to be baptized because I want to go to your Christian heaven and see my friend. And the fucking priest guy, or wherever he was, the bishop, I think he was a bishop, and he's like, "You will go to hell." And then Ragnar like walks right up to him, and he's like, the actor does it so well. I gotta send you the clip, but he's like pissed off, but he like puts his hand on the guy's cheek, and to him, like that dude's probably shitting his pants. He's like, "Oh fuck, this murdering heathen is fucking about to touch me, right?" Or he's this close, like in my face, and he's like, he said, this is what he said, and it resonated so fucking hardcore with me because it's just the truth. And he said, "That is not your decision to make."
Mm.
Meaning,
Yeah.
it's none of our decision who goes where. That's not up to us.
Yeah.
But the
Hell.
problem with religion is
Yep.
that we think, or not we, but
Oh,
humans tend to let that power trip go. And it's like,
yeah.
oh, well, I know everything because I studied all these books that someone else wrote, and this is how it's going to work for you. And it's like, how fucking arrogant are you that you're saying that you know what God is going to do with this person?
Well, see,
Yeah.
and I love what you just said. No shit, 100%. And then two, how do we know that what we think in our quote unquote godly mindset is actual truth?
Yeah. But because that's
Like, so
what,
how do we know it's truth? We say that I'm gonna do this and this is truth, and I'm like, bitch, you don't even fucking know what God's fucking trying to do.
yeah,
Like,
because if you're a Christian, like we talked about that quote from earlier, like they don't follow what Jesus wanted. Like, how do you know? Like, if you believe in God, then you would also probably believe that He forgives like everybody, right? So
no,
then,
yes, no
how
shit.
can you say that that person's going to go to hell when that's not your
Hey,
decision to make?
hey, yeah, but what'd you just say though? How many people truly fucking believe that God forgives everybody? How many people?
Not probably not very many.
Dude, like, I can only imagine the number. They're like, oh, you're a fucking devil. Like, you just did this, and I'm just like, dude, you're lost, like in La La Land. Like, oh my god, dude.
See, that's the problem is that it's not everything is so cut and dry.
No,
Because
nothing.
oh, you just reminded me. I don't know if you said it or I heard it from somewhere else. They said God doesn't judge you based off your actions. He judges you based on the content of your heart or the intent of your heart or something like that.
I said that the purity of your heart is where God looks at you, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's the purity of your heart, right? That's it, man. I don't give a fuck what you do. Well, I'm not saying that I don't I can't say that, but
I mean, yeah, because there's certain shit that's not forgivable.
no, no, no,
Yeah.
no. I can't say that. What I'm saying is that at the end of the day, we're born pure.
Yes.
God gave you a pure heart. So why would you not be okay with sharing like a beautiful, pure experience, right? Like whatever it is, the human experience. Um, but because we fucking think that we have all these like we said, we think that makes us important, right? So all of a
Well,
sudden, no, look at me, ha ha ha, I'm gonna fucking do this. It's like, dude, I don't give a fuck. Like I don't care, you know.
yeah, that's why the only like when you're like so I guess to relate this back to fitness and health, like if you're just starting in fitness and health and like trying to find somewhere to start, a lot of people get worried about what other people are going to think or what status or what level someone else is. The only person you need to compete with is your fucking self.
Yeah,
That's
no
it.
shit. Yeah.
Like you're not gonna if you never worked out a day in your damn life and you go to the gym, no one's gonna expect you to bench 300 pounds.
No one cares.
Yeah, but like
No one cares.
you can't care what other people think when, especially with something like that. You have to fucking process shit yourself and be like, I'm doing this for me so that I can become a better version of myself.
And I will take that to another level. Is that what I teach my clients is I'm gonna tell you right now. I have clients that were or are or whatever, really heavy and stuff like that, whatever. And I tell them, I was like, but you have to love yourself now. They're like, but what do you mean? Like, how can I love myself now? Because I'm not happy where I want to be. I was like, it doesn't matter. I was like, so you are 215 pounds and you want to be 175. I was like, I'm telling you right now that you love you right now. Like you look at yourself and you look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, I love you, I love you, I love you. And it's just a repetitive, like fucking way of living. And I tell people, I was like, because I'm telling you right now, because if you don't, you can literally like go in and hit every aspect and just become that really fucking good looking person. But because you never fucking loved yourself before that, like everybody else could look at you and be like, dude, you're so good looking. And and I've seen people say like, oh no, I don't know what you're talking about. Like I'm fat, I'm this, I'm that. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? You're fat. Like you're fucking great. But they don't see it, you know? And
because they
so
still have inner work to do.
yeah, yeah, that's what I'm saying exactly. So it's always the inner work. So that's why I would tell people it's like it doesn't matter. Like, yeah, I'm gonna fucking guide you on your external. I'm gonna guide you, but I'm gonna guide you on your internal too. And you're gonna be so uncomfortable when I tell you that fucking you're gonna look at yourself and be like, yeah, I'm so pretty, and like they're like, oh, I have a fucking fat belly. I was like, I don't give a fuck. We're never gonna fucking shit. We're never claiming that shit. We're only claiming your fucking beauty. We're claiming your beauty. This is what we're doing. And then all of a sudden, it's like fucking, it just grows, dude. And like all of a sudden, these people are just like, oh my God, like, what the fuck happened? I was like, no shit. It's like, because you changed the whole you. Because it's real easy to fucking like change the outside and take a couple fucking, just do a couple things and bam, and make some money. And all of a sudden, you're just like, oh, God. And then all of a sudden, you're like, oh, fucking look at me, I'm fat. And it's like, yeah, well, I'm telling you, fuck that, you know?
Well, I'll share a quote from Socrates, which has I've been seeing this a lot lately too. It says, "No man has the right to be an amateur in the matter of physical training. It is a shame for a man to grow old without seeing the beauty and strength of which his body is capable."
No shit.
Which, especially for men, like that's how we're fucking engineered. We're not
No
supposed
shit.
to be fucking sitting on the couch eating Cheetos, and I've been guilty of it, but I had to work to get myself out of it because we get depressed or we get fucking sad or like, why is my life this way? The only one who can change it is you. That's
No
it.
shit.
No one's coming to save us.
Look at me when you and I were fucking still working together
Yeah,
and over there. And I'm over there fucking doing my shit. I'm like, woo! I'm over fucking up, like fucking off and doing my shit. But I was like, you saw me. He was like, fucking, that's how I am, dude. It's like, I'll fucking fuck around. I'll fucking like run the world. But then at the same time, we'll go to fucking party time at the same time. Like, I'll do both. See? That's the mix with me, though. See, a lot of people don't see that shit, though. A
yeah.
lot of people like, oh shit, like fucking what the fuck? He's like teaching us to be healthy, but he's also teaching us to party. I was like, no shit. And I was like, I do both. I was like, I always did. Like,
It's important. It's important. Like that's what we were talking about with working and how we're all on someone else's schedule. Like, don't let and I'm guilty of it with my time in the military. I let that shit define who I was.
yeah,
You know, that's how I based who I was. So when I got out, I had lost my identity basically because I'm like, oh, I just spent the last fucking over a decade of my life in this fucking organization and now it's gone, right?
well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is I think that
But
I think
so
you did
basically
best.
you have to be able to pull yourself out of that and like not take shit so seriously, which is what you were saying, like work hard, play hard. Like fucking do your shit, but give yourself time to rest and have fun. Like, don't take shit so seriously because we could die tomorrow.
Well, that's the thing is like, how do you know if you don't wake up tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean, that's why when I wake up in the morning, or even when I've been waking up at 3 a.m., I'll fucking say, thank you, God, for this day. Just something as simple as that. Because what that does also is it kind of changes your mind to be grateful instead of negative. Um, but what I do is I work out when I can. I change my diet where I feel better about my body feels better and my mind is a little clearer. And then on the spiritual side, I think it's all three I think are important for overall health because if you're negative, even if you're being negative and you work out, you're going to feel better afterwards. Like sometimes working out is like for me is can be an avenue to release negative energy and turn it into positive, like use the darkness as they say for good. Like there's growth in that. You know what I mean? So uh I think that we just live in a society now that's all sedentary and that we fucking just, oh, what are we gonna watch on Netflix instead of like, oh, let's go on a walk or let's go fucking in the backyard and lift some shit, you know?
Well, because it's easy to fucking go. Just it's easy to go and just watch a show, right?
But yeah, that's the thing is now everyone's so hyper focused on what's easy.
No shit.
Nothing nothing
Yeah.
that's worth having is easy,
Mm.
you know?
That's what I'm
So like
saying. But that's what I'm
is
saying. That's
your
that's
camera working?
huh?
Is your camera working?
Yeah.
Are you dealing drugs right now? What the fuck are
Oh,
you
hold
doing?
on, hold on. Sorry. There we go.
Oh
Sorry.
goodness. I didn't know if you knew your camera was off. That's it.
There we go.
Quiet on the set.
Okay. Wait a minute. No, that's what I'm saying is like, I think that it's obviously very easy to be distracted nowadays, right? Like watching a show or, getting on Netflix or not, well, yeah, Netflix, but also getting on like, um, all these like these different things on your phone, these different like, social medias on your phone. And I'm like, dude, and then you used to watch like reels forever. And
Dude, and
I'm
they have reels. Everyone's attention spans like fucking zero. So, and now they have apps for everything. So basically your whole life is controlled by a fucking device,
But that's
you
what I'm
know?
saying. So I look at so and I don't say this like I'm doing anything special because I'm not. But when I wake up in the morning, like I don't give a fuck about my phone. I wake up, I pray, I thank God, I go into my morning meditation. Uh, I read some of my spiritual books. I do my journaling, and then by that point, it's probably been like I don't know, close to an hour, I guess. Doesn't matter. I don't have a time frame, but and then all of a sudden, like I'll go into my life. But it's kind of crazy because like it's so insane how quickly like the minute I go into my like fucking phone, like how quick shit just starts to take over, and I'm just like, holy shit.
Well, they say that the like Apple, you know how it has a bite out of the apple, the
Yeah,
apple symbol.
yeah, because they know, yeah.
They say it's like a metaphor for Adam and Eve and the devil.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
So it's like I've always, ever since I was young, I've always believed that sometimes, or most of the time, I guess, well, not everything, but overall, going back to like, I guess, quote unquote, the old ways, you know what I mean? Like, we're not supposed to be, even right now, we're not supposed to be on this fucking screen like
No,
for 3 hours. You know what I mean? We're supposed to be like sleeping right now because it's dark, right?
no shit.
Well, at
Yeah.
least where I am, it's dark, but
No, I get what you're saying though. Yeah.
we're no longer, as a species, as an organism, as a fucking being, we are no longer in tune with our environment. We have created all of our own mini environments and now we're just jacked up. That's why people have sleep problems. We have lights on everything now. We have phones that have signals going through it. Like we're not supposed to be fucking like around technology all the time. At the end of the day, it could be our demise, but whatever.
Yeah, probably will.
Um, you're like, yeah, brother.
No, I'm saying it probably will be though. I'm just saying it probably will be because I mean I'm just like it's kind of crazy because like the shit that we it's kind of crazy. I think about how like when I was
A
and
kid?
huh?
When you're a kid?
Well, yeah, a kid, but I'm saying like even when I was like 18, like I think about how like I had a stupid what's it called? Even younger. No, I guess 18 I had my first cell phone. But before that, but I had that
Pager?
the no, but I had the pager. And there and then you gotta page me with your number and then people learned how to page like messages, right? Like all the stupid shit. And I'm just like, what the fuck? And then now I'm looking at shit and I'm like, dude, this is like a bit much. A bit much.
Well, now there's no need to remember anything or think.
Yeah, no shit.
Theoretically,
No shit. Yeah, that's so true. Yes.
that's why people like the more that our technology, like it has a good,
Mhm.
everything has its good, but everything's good in moderation. We
Yeah.
everyone like as a society, at least in the United States, we're so dependent on all of our technology that we're becoming dumber because of it.
Yeah, no shit.
That's why like when we were talking about politics earlier, no one questions shit because they don't have to think about it. They're just like, "Oh, I don't want to think about it. I want to watch this show on Netflix or I want to watch this video on my phone. I don't want to be bothered." It's like an immediate. It's also like an immediate escape.
Well, it's immediate gratification, right? So
Yes,
think about this though, Nate, and you and I both know this. I mean, like when you come to scientifically, which whatever, right? So our prefrontal cortex of our brain is always looking for that dopamine hit, right? So I want the dopamine hit. So that's the thing is that fucking like
there's a documentary about that about social media on Netflix about
dude,
how
well, that's what I'm saying. Like I always tell people, I was, that fucking like, that like, um, Facebook, they knew what they were doing. They knew when they did.
they had psychologists come in and teach them
Yeah,
the shit.
I know. They knew it, dude. They knew it. That's what I'm saying. And so I try to tell people, I was like, listen, I was like, I have fucking experienced like so many different fucking aspects of like I guess you can say prefrontal cortex, like fun and like life and like whatever. But like I said, it's funny because like I always say like as a paramedic because I learned it, um, and then like I experienced and I'll put this on fucking like blast is that like yes I did try coke, I have done coke and I've done like pure cocaine, and like I said like what's crazy is that it gave me like fucking like the most like fun like wake up like boom I could be drunk and it wake me up boom boom all this stuff, but what I'm gonna tell you is that it's a really false sense of happiness for a very short period of time. And so I never understood why um like actors and actresses and stuff like that died out that shit, like I'm like dude what why would you want that, like I was like I just want it for that moment and that's it, it's over. But what I'm saying is that like fucking like there's all these things where it's like it's trying to make the brain be happy, right? You have that quick like hey like I want that quick dopamine hit, boom, here we go. And I tell people I was like you can do that shit through meditation, through like basic shit, but they're like no, like
Well, dude, that's why I'm glad right now I'm on the journey I'm on right now with fitness because, like, I'll say it, I had issues with alcohol stemming from my time in the military because that was the only real escape that we could have, you know? Or that's how, I remember having leaders fucking be like, yo, don't fucking rely on alcohol while he's drinking a fucking fifth of Jack.
yeah.
Like, he's like, don't rely on alcohol to solve your problems. And I'm like, you're drinking right now, like right in front of me.
You're telling
But,
me yeah. Oh shit.
but, but there was something like I respected it though, because there was something in him that wanted me to not follow in his footsteps, even though
Yeah,
he was doing it right in front of me.
yeah.
And at the end of the day, I did kind of follow in his footsteps. But anyway, but Now, but that's the thing we're talking about. This leads me to like to talk about kind of like addiction. Like I understand it a little more now that I'm older and that I've gone through some of that shit because you don't realize that you're fucking addicted until it's too late because your chemistry in your body and in your mind is just like, oh, I need this now. It's not even like it's not even a want. It's a biological need because your body's used to that chemical compounds that are coming into your body, right? Like that chemical reaction that your body gets of that dopamine, like you talked about. So, but now I'm focusing on health. That's what I decided to do, especially for the Spartan race that I'm training for. Like, I haven't been drinking, there's been no nicotine, nothing. It's just water, coffee, protein shakes, and fucking good nutrition. And that's my focus and I'm gonna run with it because that's what I'm trying to say about addiction is if you're gonna be addicted to anything, be addicted to your health,
Yeah, of course.
because you'll feel cleaner, you'll feel better. You won't be having to recover the next day from fucking drinking, 12 pack of Miller Lite or some shit, or like or Budweiser when we were fucking
Fine. When you're
training.
fucking just being like fucking like, hey, I'm just
Yeah.
kidding. I'm joking.
But I think that, like you said, I think it's healthy to blow off steam, but when it's an everyday thing, it's killing you. Yeah.
Well, you have to figure out your life. Like,
But yeah, like I said, there's people who like if anyone's watching this, if you've gone through some shit like this, let us know. Comment down below. But there's hope. That's what I'm getting at is like some people just they don't realize that they're stuck in a cycle. And then one day, like for me, one day I just woke up and I was like, all right, that's it. Like no more.
yep,
Because I'm like, I'm tired of feeling like shit every day. I don't want to be fucking. Because alcohol is also a depressant. So then you feel you're bringing
yes,
down your own vibes.
yes,
You know what I mean? So
yep. That's true. True.
and then that beer belly. It's like, damn, I'm fat, like Brian said.
I'm good.
As you drink, was that Bush Light, bro?
I just work my ass off. I just work my ass off.
No, I know. Sometimes like it's
I
refreshing, but
I work hard like a motherfucker. You know that. Like fucking like I fucking push myself. Like every moment in the gym is like fucking like
oh, I know.
it's it's a 3 mile fucking journey. Like fucking of me just fucking it. Like
You're fucking the gym, nice, dude.
yeah,
Make
fuck
sure,
them.
make sure you wear a raincoat.
You're so stupid.
uh,
You're so funny. You're so funny, Nate. Dude, you're a fucking regular Kevin Hart.
oh, please never say that again.
Why? Why?
There's, I've heard some things about that man.
What about him? What about him? What did he do? What did he do?
Well, everything we talk about, like politics and fucking celebrities and the circus and blah blah blah. You ever heard about the satanic cult bullshit?
Well, I've heard like minimal things, but nothing major. You
You
can't tell me
gotta,
part of that.
huh?
You can't tell me Kevin Hart's a part of whatever.
Well, I'm not saying he is. I'm not saying he isn't. Just research it for yourself. Yeah, like that's the thing. Like we talked about this, I think, on the last episode, where like I made a post earlier about fucking evil cannot create. All it does is destroy. So what it does is, and then I said, this explains the indoctrination industry, and I said, oh, I meant the entertainment industry. Because think about it. Think about what's going on, right, dude. Every fucking movie and show, they're just remaking it, and what are they doing? They're corrupting it, pretty
They're,
much.
they're just on top of all of it. Yeah.
They're just like, oh, this person, this character, we're not going to stick to any of the real story that this person wrote that spent their lifetime writing books or fucking whatever. We're going to make this dude a trans fucking a trans lamp fucker, and you're gonna be fucking. You have to. You have to accept it. This is the show, or fucking whatever. And then if you criticize it in any way, then you're a fucking racist, transphobe, fucking asshole. You know. And it's
Oh,
like, you know what I mean? Like the show Halo. I don't know if you played Halo growing up or whatever, but the show is fucking horrible. And
really?
dude, so Halo is about basically mankind has colonized space, right? And you end up running into these aliens that are fucking us up. So they create these super elite soldiers called Spartans. It's based off of Spartans, but they're like futuristic. And the main character is a fucking straight badass, and he's just like, "This is my job," you know. And the show basically makes it like not what it's supposed to be.
Wow.
Like one of the big things that I and a lot of people complain about is that the whole purpose behind the game was that anybody could be the main character because they never showed his face, right? They wanted the player to believe like, oh, I could be this person. I could be Master Chief, right? Because that's a beautiful thing to give somebody. Like when superheroes wear a mask, it's like anybody could be that person. Doesn't matter what race you are, where you're from. You know what I mean? But in the fucking show, he's taking his helmet off every 3 seconds, and it's like this is not the character. He's not emotional. He's not fucking banging alien chicks. He's not fucking sentimental. And he's like, I need to in the games and the books. He's like, we got a mission to do. You know, he's a straight badass. And you take a character like that, and then you turn him into a pussy, and then you have everybody at Paramount and fucking the guy who plays him like, oh well, if you don't like it, don't watch it. It's like, yeah, you're not gonna have anyone watch it, you moron, because you're not sticking to what the true character is that they spent fucking decades building. Anyway, that's my tangent.
Oh, fucking Nate.
Sorry,
Oh, Nate.
the fucking warrior in me is coming out. What do you want me to do?
Well, we're always there.
I don't know. I feel like at certain points there has to be like can't you just like you watch the Super Bowl, you see that they're remaking Twister.
Oh, dude. Like, yeah. Well, I don't care about Twister. I don't care. The Super Bowl. I'm like, fucking
No, I know, but
let
I'm just
let me call the Super Bowl, and I'll fucking teach you that you fucking didn't know how to fucking be a fucking referee. You dumb nuts. Fucking retards.
I thought you said you didn't care about the Super Bowl. Oh goodness, here we go.
Fuck you.
Okay,
Fuck you.
bro.